RPD seriously has some of the funniest loops in all of Dead by Daylight. We got the escalators right there, and we even have Scooby-Doo loop up there, both of which I do have video guides for. Even has some other hilarious ones like Scooby-Doo's butthole down there, and the east long wall window, which you do need a huge head start for, but it is really funny getting value out of that window in general. Neither of those I have a video guide for, though, yet. At least, trying to balance your work life with your stream life, you really only have time to dedicate editing to one video at a time, or one specific loop at a time. So if we really had to choose one specific loop, I figured I would knock it out of the park with this one. Because it's also baseball season, there's nothing else going on. This one actually is super simple and super risky, and it's kind of like last week's video where you're trying to connect a Z-wall to anything important. That's essentially the same type of naughtiness you're going to feel trying to pull this one off. So before we get into the loop, there is one RNG aspect of it that you really do depend on, and it's getting this pallet here. This pallet is RNG, 50% chance whether you get it or not on east or west, but you do need this pallet to be able to get a home run. So this one we call a home run, and essentially the idea is to connect this pallet, be able to make it all the way to that pallet, whether it's that pallet that spawns right there or this pallet right here. Either one works if you can get it to work by winning the 50-50s, and then connecting it to this pallet, which would be third base, before making it all the way back to this pallet, which is home. If you make it all the way in that cycle, that's a home run. Now that's pretty broad, so we do have to go over some guidelines to make it more fun, because you want to have one specific goal that you're going after, so it's so much fun whether it works or doesn't work, especially because you're trying to be super naughty. So if this right here is first base, now you can't just run through this and count that as a base hit. You have to be getting chased to here, and then you greed this pallet. They don't have to be close enough for you to greet it in their face and respect it or anything like that. You just need to run past it and hope that they go around that way, or respect it enough so that you can loop around this way. But that is hitting your first base hit. Greeting this pallet and them respecting it in any way, shape, or form, that's hitting a single. Now, the trickiest part of this whole thing is getting from here over to second base, because you don't greet anything. You have to leave at the right time. There's no guaranteed great time to leave. Ideally, you would be the maximum amount of distance away from them, so it'd be like the actual distance away from this specific desk when you would leave. And if you're running around that way, you could go this way. Especially helps if they double back trying to mind game you again. Or you're running around this way, and you can either get them to respect it and try to make it that way, or you can use the distance from across this table to try to make it. And like I said, you benefit greatly if the killer tries to mind game and thinks you're still trying to loop that. And then if you can steal second base, this right here is second base. You make it all the way to here, or to here as well, but we'll get into alternate routes later that can still kind of count as a home run. But once you make it to here, as long as you made it safely where you could have thrown the pallet, that is getting to second base. That is hitting a double. Now, once you get here, another thing is they can't really see you on the other side of this, so if you're just camping this pallet, it's hard for them to respect it. So sometimes you have to sit out here a little bit so they can see you run by for them to respect it. But you had already made it here, so you already hit your double, and now we're trying to get to third base. So when you get here, if they respect it enough for you to be able to make it over to this pallet over here, now you're on third base. Now you've hit a triple, and you're trying to make it to home base, and this right here is the last one. It's the most necessary, and it's the most annoying really in the whole thing, because it's the only RNG part of the entire home run series. But when you make it to this one, they can respect it in two ways. You can either greet it this way and they swing, or they respect it and you can try to make it back to home base, or sometimes they go all the way around that way, just expecting you to pre-drop it, and you can make it to home base as well. But once you make it back to here safely, where you could possibly loop this desk again, or even if you just made it to this pallet and they didn't respect it and you went down, doesn't matter. You still hit a home run, and you went from first base, stole second base, made it third base, and got all the way to home. That is a home run. And here's a few examples of home runs and just how much fun they really are. No! Because I'd never want to spend this much money on a pair of headphones. Did they double back and I just can't see? They let me have 3 fucking pairs. But like I said, I reviewed like 75 different pairs. I did a lot. Good shit. Alright, that was first base. Make it to second base over here. Oh, there's going to be too far behind. This won't even be second base. Come on. Damn it. I wanted to use a saw. We'll get to this one, though. Yes! That is a home run! Woo! Damn it. He didn't respect it, though. Hey, Wraith might work against Wraith. He's got a cool skin. Do we have... Nice, we do. Yes! We'll make it to this. Yes! Home run! Woo! We did it! Yeah! Strike 2! Not gonna make it back. He's fast as fuck, boy.
You make it back to this one again? No!
The super fun thing about a home run is since it is sort of luck dependent on the killers respecting every single pot you run to, because it's literally that simple. It's not some OP loop or anything, but that's what makes it so scandalous feeling of trying to actually make this work and being naughty here, then being naughty there, then being naughty there, and then making it all the way back. It just makes it so much fun. So every now and then, if you're already getting that lucky, you can get super fucking lucky and get 2 home runs where you just got complete cycle twice from here to there, back to here, back to there, back to there, and back to home. Now, that pretty much never happens, but when it does, that's one of the most fun possible things you can do in all of Dead by Daylight.
I want to go to the other one, though. Can you make this? No, I fucking staggered. That sucketh the large one. Yeah! Strike 2. Haha! We did it! Woo! We got a home run! Yes! We go around again. You had 2 home runs in the same night. Yes! Yes!
Now, the fun thing about this is we're already playing a video game that doesn't matter and has made-up rules, so now let's make up some other rules that we can also break. So we were talking about with a home run how you have to be here, and then have to go there, and then have to go there, and then have to go there. Well, made-up rules don't really matter in a video game that already doesn't matter, so we can sort of play around with this if you're out of position and trying to hit a home run. So say we weren't at the front desk, we were getting chased over here. If we were over here and we had not hit a single yet, you could greed this if they respect that, and you make it to here, that is hitting a single. Then if you greed this and make it to here, that is hitting a double. Then if you greed this and they go around, that's hitting a triple, and then if you can make it all the way back to here, that's hitting a home run as well. And you can do the same thing whether it's this pallet or whether it's this pallet over here that you start off. As long as you get a full cycle worth of pallet greeds, then you hit yourself a home run. Now, another way that can happen specifically is if you have this pallet here instead of that pallet there. Now, one thing that you can do with that makes it still just as fun, even though it is a tad bit easier if you play it this way, you still have to win all the greeds. But if you greed this and you don't have enough distance, obviously, to make it all the way around, sometimes you do. Sometimes you literally have all the distance in the world to make it all the way around this and then make it to be able to greed the pallet that spawns here. But that is so much more distance you need to go from there to here. So one thing you can do instead when you have this pallet spawn here is you could greed the front desk, and after coming in this way, you can then run to this pallet over here. And if you greed this pallet and they respect it, you can try running this way. And if you have enough distance or they game you around either way, even if they push you back this way and you run back this way, all you have to do is make it back to this pallet, where you greed this pallet and try to make it back to home base again. And that's a home run too, so it doesn't have to be like this pallet only, that pallet only, that pallet only. Like, there's alternative ways. Like a home run is a made-up guideline in a video game with rules that don't really have any implications to real life. So here's some alternative route home runs, which can be literally just as much fun as hitting the standard regular way to hit a home run.
There's a guy running face first into the belly of the beast. Oh, you got fucked over. That sucks. Out the window. Back to the front desk. Try to go for a home run. Maybe. Does it count as a home run this way? I mean, technically it's a home run. We made it around. But usually you count home runs as like when you greed the pallet. Ah! I shall take the hit, because I did not mean to do that. Do we got a chance for a home run? He's got the fast shock. Yeah, we have the home run opportunity. Let's see if we can get it. Damn it. I gotta run to this one. Greet it. No, you were supposed to respect it.
Another thing about this is, obviously this isn't going to work against all killers. There's a bunch of killers that just counter just the front desk by itself, projectile killers or something like that. You can still try, but at the same time, you're really just setting yourself up for failure. At the same time, some of the killers you can try something on and it won't work, but then you can try something different and see if it works on after, which we will in a second. But this would be an example of it just not working at all right from the beginning.
I want to try to get a home run. Yeah. Well played. I can't get a home run against this dredge.
Now the best part is, and this is kind of incorporating what we were talking about last week with the Z-wall, when the Z-wall shouldn't really work, but you're trying to connect it to something that does work. That's the best part, is the home run is right in the middle of the escalators loop. So when you do play against a killer like that dredge, that you couldn't make the front desk really work well enough against, you can always just incorporate another one of the most funniest loops in the entire game, running up and down escalators. Every time you run up and down one of these escalators screaming that, you can literally incorporate the escalators into trying to benefit you hitting a home run here. Like we were going up and down the escalators there, it could have been the other direction as well. We jumped that window, we're coming over here, we greet this pallet if they respect it. We can go over to this one over here again if we want to. If we greet this, they can respect it. We can either go to this thing, we can pass through if we want to, because if we pass through and they go all the way around, we might either be able to go up this way and back to that. If they mind game themselves hard, we can go back up and down the escalators, screaming accordingly, and see if we can hit a home run. And once again, the guidelines are made up, so it doesn't really matter if it was like,
Well, that wasn't the specific rules of a home run.
because none of this matters. It's a video game. What matters most is the fun that we want to have. This is our spare time we're using playing video games. The whole point is to have fun. So if you want to incorporate another loop that is already a lot of fun into this loop that is also a lot of fun, there is nothing wrong with that, and you can call that a home run as much as you want to. So here's some clips against that same dredge that we couldn't get it to work against earlier, but just finagling our way around the escalators loop to put it together to make a home run.
No! That's what I was trying to prevent. Yes! Nice. Did we make it? I want to run that way, but I think somebody's there. I might make this, though. Nope. Not gonna make that. I think they got the lusty blood. Escalators! We're gonna escalators. Escalators! It has been doing the same loop the whole time. No! You're supposed to respect that. I can't run into that rooftop. Can't do it. I would throw this next year, but I'm gonna don't throw any pellets thingy this year. Green again, yes! Yes! Woo! Woo! Oh, I'm not gonna make it anywhere though. No, I'm not. No, the bloodlust.
Now, the absolute best part about this is how much fun this can be even when it fails. Because just like a Z-wall, you're trying to make something that should not work, and that's what makes it feel so scandalous when it does work. So when you go for a home run, and you even just get right there, and you just barely don't make it all the way around your bases. You made it all the way from the desk, all the way to that pallet, all the way back to this pallet, and you get called out at home. And once again, made up guidelines in a video game doesn't matter at all, so it can be really fun also in forcing those rules on yourself to be like, damn it, I didn't make it out at home. Because at the end of the day, it's that much fun anyway, because at least you tried something that was that much fun. So just look at how much fun this can be, even when you fail.
I'm gonna try to hit a home run here. Oh god, they're gonna go for a home run too. Alright, that's number 1. Alright, can we get to number 2? Alright, that's number 2. They hit a triple here. Now we gotta greed this. Ah, you're so close! No! We were at home base and we got tagged out. That sucks. God damn it. Tagged out at home.